Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. I wanted to do this lesson, and I was laughing because this is the perfect picture that illustrates what you so-called black men are going through with the so-called black woman. All right. A lot of you are captive in the mind. You're captive, right? And you can't shake that the demon that's telling you that you have to stay with this woman. You know, no matter how she treats you, no matter what she does to you, you could only deal with this woman. This is the only option that you see. When the Heavenly Father made a variety of different women, you know, even the Heavenly Father himself, he likes the variety. Okay, that's why all the tribes, they look different and they act different, because the Heavenly Father likes the variety. You know, they say that variety is the spice of life, right? But y'all have been shamed. Ultimately, they shame you into not dealing with any other woman. If you deal with any other woman, it's because you're weak and you can't handle a strong woman because you're weak, and that's why you don't deal with the so-called black woman. You know that's why you go for the white woman, the white woman and these women of these other nations, because you can walk all over them and blase, 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 blase. Which, you know, we don't want to have to handle a woman. Okay, a woman should be peace. She should be someone who helps, you know, who actually makes the load lighter for us to be more productive. But that's not what the majority of these so-called black women mindsets are. Their mindsets are completely opposite. You know, if anything, you're supposed to serve them, and they're just supposed to be covered, as they say. You know, they're supposed to be living their soft girl era, which means they get to stay at home and do nothing. And you just bring in all the money. You know, you bring all the money, take care of whatever. And then she shouldn't even have to ask for the things that she wants. You should know what she wants before she asks for it. These are the type of things that they say. You know, a true provider does this, a true provider does that. But they don't ever speak about how they're supposed to be as servants to the men, because that's what a woman is supposed to be. But anyways, I don't want to get too much on a rant, because all of us brothers have experiences where we could rant about these particular things. But let's read this. This is Isaiah 3 and verse 12. It says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors." Right? That goes into these Edomites, right? Because they're really considered children because they're lesser than us, right? "As for my people, children are their oppressors," right? "And women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths." Okay? And women rule over you. This is what happened, especially to the black community. This is personified in the black community. The black community is a matriarch. Okay? 100% matriarch. Okay? The fathers are not in the household, you know, because a lot of times the woman is completely unbearable, right? So, you know, the fathers leave, and then sometimes just, you know, niggas ain't right, right? You got jakes that ain't right as well, and knowing they leave and they don't take care of responsibilities, right? And a lot of times, you know, the women are choosing these low life men because these men are what? These are, they're exciting. You know, they don't want to deal with the real estate investor. They don't want to deal with the guy who's a plumber because he's not exciting. Okay, they want to deal with the scam artist, the drug dealer, you know, the dude who's in the streets, or, you know, who's just, you know, who's very unstable and very sporadic, instead of dealing with someone who's predictable and stable, right? And this is proven. This has been proven. So, you know, what happens is you have broken families, broken households. And, you know, and ultimately what happened is the so-called black community has turned into a matriarch. So the ideals of the so-called the woman is pushed in the so-called black community. Basically, they deal with woman worship. Okay, very, very heavily, right? And Jake was worshiping the woman going back to the ancient world, right? But it was in the form of the Queen of Heaven, which this is that same spirit coming back now. Right, this is Jeremiah 7, and I'll start at verse 16. It says, "Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem?" And this is dealing with Judah and the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It's not even dealing with the Latin tribes, right? And when you look at the Latin tribes, they don't go through the same issues on the same level as Judah does with their women. It's not on the same level. Okay, it's not. All right. They still, even when them Latin tribes are they're following the Western way. Deep down, they know that how to be a wife, right? They know what they're doing is wrong. Okay, and you see that in these podcasts. Like, yeah, I know, we're supposed to serve our man. I was raised to serve my man, and so on and so forth. They say that inside of these different podcasts, but what they're doing is they're actually following their wicked sisters, the Judites, okay, the so-called black woman. That's really what they're doing, okay, and they pollute their minds, It says, but all these women are wicked nonetheless. It says, "Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem?" So this is dealing with the southern kingdom. "The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger." Right. So this was woman worship back then. Okay. Completely backwards. Okay. So, this is one of the things that provoked the Heavenly Father to anger. All right. Zebulon Guerrera, he says, "We got the same problems with our women." Yeah, but it's not on the same level as Judah. It's not on the same level as Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You should be able to see that it's a completely different level. Okay, completely different. Right? They're in the black woman is so evil. They have groups that are basically saying that anytime they get pregnant and they have a so-called black child, right? They're going to abort it. If it's a son, they're going to abort him. This is the type of things that they say. So their level of evil is unmatched. Okay, it's unmatched. And the crazy part about it is if they hate the so-called black man so much, how could they possibly be having a black son? That means they're still having sex with the so-called black man. So they're all fucked up in the head, man. And it's the best thing for you to do is to stay away from them. And that goes for all the tribe. You should stay away from her. Ask Robert, who was that? Was it Robert De Niro? No, the other comedian, Gary something, man. Gary something. That one of them comedians is dealing with the so-called black one, and she's making his life a living hell right now. But Gary, what's his name? Gary something. It's the Edomite looking comedian, man. But he's most likely a Jake though. Anyways, that's the point. That's the point of the matter. I want to play this video real quick. And even the curse that came upon the women, that mostly came when you go to Jeremiah 3. That came upon the southern kingdom. That wasn't even dealing with the northern kingdom. All right, this is Jeremiah 3, showing you how much more wicked the southern kingdom women are than the northern kingdom women. This is Jeremiah 3 in verse, before I get this video, in verse, I said Jeremiah 3. Isaiah 3. Actually, it was Isaiah 3. I'm saying Jeremiah 3. Salakia. Isaiah 3 and verse 16. Look at the title. It says, Judah's women denounced. Okay, Judah's women denounced. So it's dealing with the kingdom of Judah. It deals with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, starting with Judah. It says, moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, meaning proud and arrogant, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. And guess what? They're the most proud even now in the lowest state that the Heavenly Father has them in, right? They're the least married, the least desired, right? They're bald-headed and the most high, and they still have that demonic proud spirit on them. And it's bugged out because they have a mixture of extreme pride and arrogance with a mixture of extreme low self-esteem. It's like, yo, it's complete. It's messed up, man. A lot of demons. They got a lot of demons, man. You know, they're the baddest thing ever. They're the best thing to ever walk the earth. They're God's gift to the earth. But then they'll glue in this weave into their hair that looks nothing like and they'll hide their original hair. I'm telling you, man. Right? It says, therefore, the Lord will smite. And the black man keeps telling them, listen, we don't like the weave. You know, just wear your original hair. Do they listen? No, they don't they argue about that. We're telling you look more beautiful as you are, and they're arguing about that. So leave them the fuck alone. They're undealable with. They're undealable. They're unhandleable. Okay? Just leave them alone. You know? And they're on their best behavior anyway when they're dealing with the heathen, starting with the Edomites. So let them deal with the so-called white man, because they're more in a best behavior when they're dealing with them. But still they don't know how to be wives, so he can have them. Okay, it says, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. I mean, what? He brought shame upon them, and he put a bald head upon them. That's why they can't grow hair. That's why the men could grow hair faster than they can grow hair. That is a curse from the Lord, you know. And the Lord put the spirit on them to really promote the curse, because they're putting all them goddamn chemicals in their hair, and which damages their hair. It says, in that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments. Their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their coals, and their round tires like the moon. The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers and the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles. And these things were of high quality back then. It's not this garbage they have today. Even just the garments, oh my goodness, a garment was like a car back then, because these were real. They were woven with quality. They were woven to perfection. You know, they were made with quality materials. You know, custom made. So listen, man, you're dealing with, it's a whole nother level. And the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses, which the crisping pins I believe is like a hot comb. Let me see what a crisping pin is real quick, because they did have forms of hot combs back then where they would design their hair. Okay, no, this is not dealing with the hot comb. This is dealing with a bag or a purse. Is that the correct word? Crisping pins? No, okay, so that's not, okay, so yeah, so it's not dealing with that. Not with this particular one. But they did have particular tools to do that, even in the ancient world. It says, Salakia, it says the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And we clearly could see that, right? And who has that curse the most? The so-called black woman. You know, there's videos of other so-called black women telling them, yo, you need to wash, man, because they can smell them with their clothes on. That is not normal. That is a curse from the Heavenly Father. Okay, and like I said, it mainly fell upon the kingdom of Judah. Even the body odor of a lot of them is very strong. And instead of a girdle, instead of well set hair, baldness. Then go upon the northern kingdom will have a problem with that. The Native Americans don't got a problem with baldness. So-called Latinos don't have a problem with Latinas don't have a problem with baldness. Why? Because that curse wasn't for them really. That curse was for the so-called black woman. And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty, which obviously some of these things did fall on some of them, but as a whole, it mostly fell upon the southern kingdom, especially dealing with the baldness. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty. Oh no, that's pretty much it. So I made the point on that. Okay, and I'm gonna play this video real quick. Let me see what the comments are saying. Jake has Stockholm syndrome from Esau too. Yeah, I know that, but I'm dealing with the woman right now. I'm not dealing with Esau right now. Anita's got, you got Stockholm syndrome from Esau, sure, but we're dealing right now with the Stockholm syndrome that the so-called black man has by the so-called black woman. That's what we're dealing with right now. All right. Like I told you, the Latin tribes, it's not the same level. It's not the same level, man, as Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay? It's not the same, especially Judah. Especially Judah. Judah is heavily into that simp spirit when it comes to their women. You know? You can watch the pop the balloon, the woman will insult them. I ain't into him. He ain't it. He just ain't it. Right? And then he's and then you know what the man will say while she's insulting him? Ah, yeah, she's beautiful, man. She's gorgeous, but, yeah, she's gorgeous, man. Yeah, she is my type. She's gorgeous. So he'll be complimenting her, and she'll be like, thank you. Yeah. And she'll look at him like, yeah, I'm better than you, you know? So while she's giving him insults, he's giving them compliments. So that's a sign of that Stockholm syndrome that Jake has towards the so-called black woman. So it says, everybody is traumatized by these devils. Yo, bro, just stay on topic, man. Stay on topic. I don't leave no comments, man. We're talking about the topic at hand is the so-called black man and have Stockholm syndrome by the so-called black woman. That's the topic.
They have a huge problem with someone who treats an American black man very, very well. And that's the problem they have, because they think no man deserves to be treated well if he doesn't pay. Excuse me, that doesn't even make any sense to me. If I can only be nice to you when you pay me, that makes me a whole prostitute. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just call it for what it is. You can get upset if you want to. The truth is always going to be the truth. And on this channel, all you will find is the truth, whether if you like it or not. I mean, isn't it true that the majority of modern women nowadays don't want the average man because they are just not good enough for this boss babe? But at the end of the day, these women forget, which makes them so delusional, these women forget that some of them, a lot of them, are below average. I mean, how can you sit there and put yourself...
And the so-called black woman is the most delusional with that. All these women are delusional, don't get me wrong. But they're like even Kevin Samuels, he made that statement that the so-called black woman puts looks, height, and money. She ranks that higher than any other woman. Right? And when he said that makes perfect sense. When I heard that, I said, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Okay? They rank the vanity of it, they rank higher than any other woman. Because her thing is she's trying to impress the other women with the man that she has. So the dude can be 6'1", right? But nah, because when I'm in heels, I'm 6'10". So I need a dude to be 6'3", 6'4". So everything else is perfect, but nah, because he's just a little too short for me. But the dude is 6'1". This is the kind of mindset that they have, which is why you should just go to deal with the other nations, because the so-called white woman, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. The so-called white woman, she'll deal with a dude that's the same height as her. No problem. No problem. They don't put it that high of they don't rank these vanity metrics that high on the scale. Right? Neither do any other woman. Okay? The so-called black woman ranks these things on the highest level. Right? You'll see an Issacharite, you'll come down with his family, and the Issacharites, a lot of them are shorter. Like he's about the same height as the woman. You're a little bit taller, and they have a family. They're operating together. They're doing what they got to do, And he's not making a whole bunch of money, but she can cooperate and clean and cook and serve her man to some capacity. But the kingdom of Judah, starting with the Judites, starting with Judah, okay, is completely out of order. Okay, completely out of order, and their minds are corrupted by social media. They live based upon social media. To a higher degree than every other woman. Let's put it that way. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you who's on the opposite spectrum of that is the Asian woman. The Asian woman, she don't even really look at looks. She doesn't even deal with looks like that. She'll be with the ugliest guy, the ugliest Jake, the ugliest Edomite, because she's not looking at that. She's looking at where's this guy going. They don't judge like that at all. The one who judged like that, the least I would have to say in my assessment would be the Moabite women. Okay, they judge looks the least.
On a pedestal, expect all men to do the same because you're wearing fake hair, because you're wearing fake lashes, because you have lip fillers, cheekbone fillers, forehead lip fillers. You are wearing certain type of clothes that make your body look a certain way. But once all of that comes off, I don't know who we're supposed to put on the pedestal. Surely not your ass. I also know for a fact that 90% of these women who are in that comment section are single. Single by choice, because the average man is not good enough. Oh, but coincidentally, that high-value man is not checking for them either. So, of course, you're going to be single by choice. Who are you even kidding? And you cannot tell me that you're coming home every night and you're happy with no man that's waiting for you. No man you can cuddle with. No man that's going to help you, protect you, provide all of the security for you. You're always talking about that you can do all of that yourself. If you can, why are so many of you all over social media platforms just breaking down in your car, crying that you are sick and tired of being single? It doesn't make any sense to me. Can you please make it make sense? Women really need to stop thinking that their looks only is everything a man is looking for in a woman. I'm going to tell you one thing, the culture I come from, my Turkish culture, we take...
Yeah, she's not saying it, but she's really specifically making these videos for the black woman. That's why she mentioned the so-called black American man, because that's really who she's targeting this video towards without saying it, right?
Pride as women if we can go to work, take care of the household, contribute to the household, and take care of our loved ones.
Listen to what she said.
We take pride
listen to what she said.
Their looks only is everything a man is looking for in a woman. I'm going to tell you one thing, the culture I come from, my Turkish culture, we take pride as women if we can go to work, take care of the household, contribute to the household, and take care of our loved ones. Some of you are out there don't even know.
So they take pride in what? In taking care of their loved ones, contributing to the household, all these different things, right? That's not the mindset of the so-called black woman. That's not the mindset. Her mindset is if she has to work, then you really aren't worthy of any type of submission or any type of, really anything. Okay? You're not even really worthy of having sex with her. That's her mindset behind it, because she has to work. When she's acting like if you go back in the day, like the women back in the day weren't working. The women back in the day, you go back in the time, they were working. Right? They were working. A lot of them were working jobs, but even if they weren't working jobs, they were working in the household constantly, which was just like a job, making bread from scratch, making clothes from scratch, so on and so forth, catering to the man, taking care of the children properly, cleaning the house. These things they were doing consistently, which was like a full-time job in itself. Okay? So what are they talking about? You see what I'm saying? But she says she takes pride in those things, contributing to the household, because her mindset is about the family. Their mindset, these so-called black women, their mindset is not about the family. Their mindset is about them Me. This is why they'll leave their man, even if they have children with the man, at the drop of a dime, because they're the main ones leaving. It's them, even if they have children with the man, because it's all about them and how they feel and their happiness. It's not about the well-being of their family. See? This is their mindset. Okay? You understand? And another thing, the messed up mindset, one thing that doesn't make any sense to me, you got these people saying how, they'll have a woman and she'll be working. I'm taking care of all the bills, right? And this and that. And they think that's masculine. You taking care of all the bills, but then, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I agree with that. You can do that. Okay, that's cool. If you want to do, you can do that. But if she's working, what is she doing with her money? She's just putting it on the side for herself for a rainy day. That's a selfish mindset because she's not thinking about you, nor is she thinking about the family. She's putting that money aside for herself. Why the hell would you want to be with a woman with that kind of mindset? Because that's something that she's saving up for when she leaves your ass. She got something to move with. She has something to leave with. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. If she's getting money, if they're getting money, right, they happen to be working, they should be contributing to the household. It's only common sense. It just that whole mindset doesn't even make sense, right? But supposedly that makes you more manly because they shame you into wanting to basically put their needs before anything else. Anyways, let's continue.
What that means. I mean, honestly, what do you bring to the table besides you being the table? Let's break those words down. What does it even mean, you being the table? You have a career, good for you. You have a nice car, good for you. You have a good sense of humor, good for you. You're good looking, good for you. But what is a man supposed to do with all of that? Wipe his ass? A man doesn't.
But the thing is, they don't understand what they were put on the earth for. They just don't get it. All you got to do is go back to Genesis, man. All you got to do is go to Genesis 2, right? The woman was created for a purpose, right? From the inception, this is what she was created for, okay? And it reads, yeah. I'll start at verse 20. It says, and Adam gave names this is Genesis 2:20. It says, and Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowls of the air, to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found any helpmeet for him. Right? So this is what the Lord created the Eve for. He created Eve to be an helpmeet. Okay? Let's look up this word helpmeet. Right? Izar, which says a help, a succor, a help, a secure, one who helps. So you're making all that, you're making money on the side and you putting that aside for yourself. That's not a help. Okay? That's not a help. All right? You want to stay home all day and, I need my foot rubbed. You're not, I don't feel like it. You're not a help. Okay? You're not a help. See, the problem is they don't understand their role. That's the problem with the so-called black women. These other women, they somewhat understand their role, somewhat. Of course, that's been lost in the Western society, but still, they're closer to understanding it than the so-called black women. So why do you so-called black men feel the need to stick with the so-called black woman? Because you are, a glutton for punishment. You have Stockholm syndrome. Let's go into this word Stockholm syndrome, man. I even heard some niggas say, I heard a lot of niggas say this in the past. I like my woman to have a little attitude. I like my woman to insult me a bit. That's a dude who doesn't value himself. Okay? That's a guy who does not value himself to say something like that. This is the word Stockholm syndrome. Okay? Stockholm syndrome means Stockholm syndrome is a coping mechanism to a captive or abusive situation, you Israelite men, starting with the kingdom of Judah, specifically, you're in an abusive situation with the so-called black woman. Okay? The disrespect you get from her, the non-cooperation, the headache you get from her is abusive. And you can see it in their face. You can see in Jake's face when he deals with the so-called black woman that he's catching hell. Okay? When he's dealing with the nations, the women of the other nations, you can see that he's more loose. He's more at peace. Right? Like that woman, that Turkish woman that was speaking, she's like, yo, listen, she said in one video that it's easy to get the so-called black woman. There's really the black man. There's no competition because the black woman doesn't know how to treat their men. So you cook him a little meal and then, oh, wow. You know, he feels so, oh, wow. You know, you treat him nice, you know. It's like, oh, wow. You know, which is just the basics. It's just the basics. Show you how low Jake is in the society, man. It says people develop positive feelings toward their captors or abusers over time. And this is what happened. You Jakes are so used to being abused by the so-called black woman, right? And this whack situation that you guys have that you can't see anything better for yourself. Okay? It says this condition applies to situations including child abuse, coach athlete abuse, relationship abuse, and sex trafficking. Yeah, so you Jakes are going through a relationship abuse with the so-called black woman and you can't shake it. A lot of you can't shake it. That's why the pop balloon, if they bring a woman that looks a little bit light or she looks like she's like of another nation, they'll say, no, man, I'm with the sisters, man. I'm with the queens, man. Nah, man, I'm with the queens, yo. I ain't really, you know, that's not really my type because I like the dark skinned women, you know, whatever the fuck he says, man. I'm like, nigga, if the woman, she looks good and she acts right, what the fuck is the problem? And the scriptures say don't seek a woman for her beauty. That's you Jake's problem. You keep looking at what you think is attractive. Anyways. And then you don't look at the inner qualities. Yeah, I'm thinking about certain people, man, certain brothers that, yo, if they had Edomite, if they had not Edomite, if they had Jake women opposed to the women that they have now, whether it be a Latin tribe or Edomite or whatever, how much more hell they would be catching most likely. There's always exceptions to the rules, but most likely than they're catching right now, being in the truth. This is a Sirach 25 and 21. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 19. Nah. Let's start at verse 16, man. It says, I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Okay? I'm telling you, ain't nobody more wickeder than the so-called black woman. Okay, amongst these women. It says, the wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. What's that movie there with what's that movie with what's her name, man? Taraji P. Henderson. Was it Insidious or something like that? Something like that, or that's another name to it. But she seen how dark her countenance was because she was scorned that she left the dude before he made it. Right? She was tired of him not being able to provide how she wanted. And when he actually made it, instead of sticking it out with him, she left him. And then he made it big, and then she lost it, man. She said, her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. Yeah, we hear about the wickedness of his wife. You know? All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Yeah, and the so-called black woman is the most clamorous. Yeah, nigga, I did it. And that mouth, man, that mouth, that really breaks down a man's spirit. You know, being around a nagging woman, a woman with too much mouth like that, it breaks down a man's spirit. Okay, it really does, and that's why these jakes be looking like they just left out of they just did a fucking 20-year bid, you know, while they're walking with their woman. It says, "Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure." You see, you're not supposed to stumble. Oh, she's beautiful. That's why I like. She's so beautiful. You can't tell me there's not women of other nations that are beautiful that you can't deal with. You know, you can't tell me that like look wise, like I could deal with her. She's attractive to me. You know, I understand if you the mindset, yo, these nations hate us, nigga. Your own woman hates you. The so-called black woman hates you the most. She's talking about exterminating you. She hates you. Don't get it twisted, eh? If you think the other nations hate you, well, she hates you more. I'm gonna tell you that now. As women, bruh. Yo, I'm telling you now, man. Yeah, you can find certain Edomite racist women that are demons, but they're on that same level, bro. They're on that same level. It's just Jake does not see it. Jake is just blind to it. Okay? They're blind to it. And they know you're blind to it. They know you don't fucking know. They know you don't fucking... Bro, I always talk about that story when I was in that place getting the smoothie, and the black woman was there at the counter, and the Jake was in that nice guy spirit. Hey, what you doing? And giving her all, that attention. But there was other women of other nations around, but he was focusing, being extra nice to the so-called black woman. And while he wasn't really paying attention or looking or noticing, she was looking at him with like such an evil look. And you could see the demon was looking at him. It was very evil, man. It was like, fucking nigga, I hate you. That's the look that she gave him. But he was being nice and friendly. And while she's looking at him like that, I'm looking at her like, bitch, I know what the fuck. I know you're our enemy. That's how I was looking at her. And then she looked at me and she saw that I seen her and I was giving her that same evil type look. And she kind of got startled. Oh my gosh, he seems like he can see. Right, I'm not joking. This is exactly what happened. And then he left. And you know what happened? They made my smoothie and she gave me an extra smoothie. Hey, I got an extra smoothie. Do you want it? They're the same as the so-called white man. They're deceptive. They're demons. They're your enemies. They are your enemies. So if you have a problem because, they had us in slavery, the nations don't like us, your own woman don't like you. At the end of the day, these women are enemies, period. You gotta keep them in that. That's the bottom line in this society. If you find a woman that's actual virtuous, wow. Wow. You found a treasure. But ultimately, other than that, their whole thing is to get you off of your focus. Okay? To draw you. Satan uses them to draw you out of your purpose, man. Okay? It says, a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abateth the courage. Listen to this. This is what's going on with you so-called black men right now. It says, a wicked woman abateth the courage. She takes away your courage, maketh an heavy countenance. And I tell you, these jakes be having heavy countenances on them, man, when they're dealing with a so-called black woman. And a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. And you can see it, man. You can see it, bro. Especially if Jake is not if he's not fucking high up there with that money. Oh my gosh. Man, it's going to be a very hard road for him. Because they can act. If you're doing well, like really, really well, they can act. But let that money start to be insecure. You're going to see that the act start to melt away. And I'm going to say something. The Edomite woman has no problem going 50-50. By the way. She has no problem. The Edomite man does it all the time. All the time. They're always doing 50-50. The so-called white man. They're always doing 50-50 with their woman. And they don't mind. Okay? So, you know what the hell you're talking about. The Asian woman too. They don't mind. They'll work just as hard or harder. So, listen, man. Miss me with all that BS. Because it says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. Right? Meaning they ain't supposed to be walking up and down the street all times of the night, as they do. But if you tell them don't do that, he's controlling. He's this. He's insecure, and they'll use that the shaming language, which Kevin Samuels calls sign language, to try to shame you into letting them do what the hell they want to do. The black woman is a professional at shaming, man. Let's go to the pop the balloon. So let's see what we can. MTR, which really I'm not trying to. I already went long enough on this shit, but I'm just trying to see. Dave Chappelle. I'm just trying to see what's going on. You know what, man? To hell with this. Anyway, this is the end of the video. That's all I need to. I don't need to keep going on this garbage. But the bottom line is, man, you Jakes need to wake the hell up, man. You need to wake the hell up. And with that, I'll give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Shalom to the hopeful elect.